Go. We are now live
Hello.
on the Mad Hatter Sunday stream.
Hooray for the Sunday stream.
We're getting closer to the end of the year. It's almost the
Yes.
New Year's. So
Happy upcoming holidays, everybody.
It's funny on our Twitch, like we have Windows to Sky who's saying, "I am also gently a lurk." And that's such a great word.
Yes. We are also gently a lurk.
Alert. It's such a good
I'm
word.
gonna have to adopt that. That is very cute.
Good to be gently a lurking at all times, I say. Yeah.
Alerting
Hi,
so
Linda. Hi,
happily.
Steffi.
Yeah. What's going on, everyone? So come hang with us. We're just having like our Sunday hang time here on the streams. If you have any questions for the band, or if you just want to tell us what you're up to for your holidays, we're here to like just hang and chat with you. And yeah, we are here. We're excited. We're getting ready for this New Year's Eve extravaganza sort of event here in Los Angeles. So we had our first rehearsal last night, and we're getting ready to hit it hard. And then we've got a photo shoot on Monday. We're gonna take some more photos, and then we're gonna play some music. And yeah, that's what we're up to.
So Jerry is saying that he is ready to hibernate like a bear and wake up in the summer. I am right there with you. I'm totally in hibernation mode.
Yes.
I'm like, yes. Yes. That sounds
good to me.
amazing. I'm totally in that mode. It's funny when you are out and about in the world and you're like, this is not right. I should be in my comfy clothes and hibernating and watching movies and drinking warm things. Yes.
In my cave with my fish and my hot cocoa.
Yes, with my fellow bears.
Yeah, I took like a nap today, and I was passed out for like half an hour, but then when I woke up, I felt like I woke up and it was a new day, and I was like, where am I? Like, am I even alive? Is there something I've got to do? You know, it's very strange. Definitely hibernation time.
Yeah.
And happy birthday to Jean.
Happy birthday
for your upcoming birthday. That's awesome that y'all are gonna rock out San Diego.
Yeah.
Saying that their band is gonna rock out, so that is awesome.
That's awesome. What band are you in, Jean? I'll check you guys out. But yeah, that's awesome. Happy birthday. Oh man.
Yes, I do think it is nap time. It is indeed nap time. There are more calls to nap.
Brian from Void Signal is here. I see him in the chat.
Yay!
Hello.
We're so excited to play Reno. It's happening so soon.
Yeah.
Well, soonish. And time is fluid, but we're going to be playing Reno April 20th. So we're very excited to actually return to Reno. It's been a while.
Mm-hmm.
It is soon. It'll be here before we even can think about it.
Hello to Sean and Kennedy. Thank y'all so much for joining us.
Hi.
Yes, and to Alexander.
Yeah, thanks y'all for hanging out with us so close to the holiday break. I hear this is a thing that happens. So but yeah, thanks for spending the time with us. This is really cool.
Yeah, we're excited.
Oh, looks like we have another birthday coming up. Scott, happy birthday to you. Hopefully it's an awesome one in the holiday times. So
happy birthday. 11 days from now.
Lots of yummies.
Awesome. That's close to the New Year, right? Yeah. Wow.
Oh, and yeah, so to you, Polly, as well. We're returning to Pittsburgh, actually. So that's going to be happening on the upcoming tour, and we're super excited to be back there. So I'm sure it's probably really cold in Pittsburgh.
Oh, we're going back to Pittsburgh. That's right. Are you allowed to say the venue and all that stuff?
Oh, yeah, we're going to be playing again at Black Forge Coffee, which we love. That venue was amazing, and we love the community there. So, yeah. Oh, and yes, Brian, we do have another big tour coming up. We're touring with Adrian H and the Wounds. For those of you who haven't heard of them, they're a band off of the Cleopatra Records label. They're really, really amazing. We played with them in Seattle. They're from Portland, and just really loved their music and their show and them as people. And we did a live stream with them during the pandemic of 2020. And so it was like a really amazing experience getting to play not just live, but virtually together. So we're really excited to do a full tour with them.
Yeah, they're amazing. I think they inspired us to do our light show. I think from playing with them. I remember Steve saw their lights. He's like, "That's amazing. We need to do something like that." You know,
it's like actually going to be called the Shadows and Light Tour. So,
yeah. Oh, that's perfect.
Yes. And Scott, we are coming to Massachusetts. We are playing in Salem. We'll have more details about that after the new year, but we are going to be coming to Massachusetts. I'm really excited about that. So yeah.
And Brian was asking about the next record. Yeah, so we're just working on new music for that. I think, yeah, I feel like we're like over the midway point, but I feel like there's still like we're going back to Joshua Tree and having like a writing session in January, because I feel like there's a lot of new music that that's just waiting to come out. So I'm really excited to see what else we can put into the new album.
Writing time is always like actually really amazing. First of all, just getting to be with the band for me, it's a real gift. So we just had a rehearsal last night till like 1:30 in the morning. It never feels like work. It's awesome, like regardless of what music we're playing and what we're doing, whether it's driving or loading or doing the thing. So it's always a joy. But creative writing time is always just really pretty spectacular because I just feel like I get to create with a group of people. It's like a creative bouncy wall. That's the best way to describe it, because it's like you throw a little ball and then somebody catches it and then somebody throws it, and it's like all these creative juicy ideas that are just kind of flying around. So it's always like really fun and exciting, a very juicy time. So yeah.
Well, there's
many
something
juices.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I said many juices.
Many juices. There's something so magical about like being in the away. We were talking about like the hibernation, the cave time, like when we're all in the cave together, like there's something so magical about that, you know. I mean, we still have cell phones and internet and stuff like that, you know, but it's when everything just sort of closes in and we can just get super creative with each other. It's magic.
Yeah, it is.
Are we going back to Montana, Todd?
We are definitely coming back to Montana, not on this tour, but you know, we consider Montana one of our regular stomping grounds. I guess both would work, stopping or stomping. But we are definitely going to be back there for sure. We've loved the community in Montana as well. So that'll probably be like sometime in the summer. Oh, and thank you, Scott, for your kind words about Electrical. We love that song too. It's definitely a favorite to perform, and I think one of my favorite things about, I mean, there's many favorite things about the song, but is actually when we're playing a show and I look out and I see people singing with me. I feel like that makes the song that much more special for me, knowing that it connects with people. And so hopefully we will see you singing with me when we come out there.
We just recently released actually a new version of the Electrical music video on Facebook though, because we actually have a new mix that we've used for that. What you listen to on the actual CD is different than the mix that you hear when you watch the original Electrical music video that we put out on YouTube. I personally like it better. It hits pretty hard in the choruses. There's a lot more guitars sounding. So it's personally like, I really like how it sounds. But anyways, check it out if you haven't already. But yeah, if you listen to the original music video on YouTube, you'll you'll hear that like a lot more of the electronic elements, which I love as well. But I feel like this, after playing it live so much, like I actually revisited the mix, and it makes more sense to have more guitars like prominent, you know? Yes, Alex.
Hello, Drew, and happy holidays to you as well. Yay.
Yeah. So yeah, now that you're all hanging here with us, feel free to ask us any questions you might have. Happy to answer anything you guys have. Just let us know.
Yeah, Kennedy mentioned watching the rehearsal of the bands.
Mm.
Yeah, that's always really fun. We're goobers. It's endless gooberness.
Yeah, there'll be some more fun behind the scenes stuff very soon, from photo shoots and more rehearsals, and it's always fun.
Yeah, it's really so when we do events and shows like this, it's actually quite a process to get ready for it. Sasha and I are doing vocal rehearsals every day. So there's that aspect. Everybody individually is doing their woodshedding, so to speak. This will be Carl's first time to play piano with us in Alice Underground. So he's been just like really at it in the woodshed, in the proverbial woodshed. But it's going to be fun because we're actually going to be doing some dual piano, like on the piano together, and we're going to have a real piano, which I'm very excited about. So that'll be a treat.
It sounded so cool last night with both of y'all like rocking out.
Well, we were inspired by Jerry Lee Lewis. I actually worked for him a little while ago. I was writing music and working as a keyboardist in Memphis, and so I actually got to experience Jerry Lee playing rock piano live, and so I was really inspired stylistically because he just has this way of just freedom. That's the best way I can describe it, just letting loose and unleashing on the piano, which I was really inspired by. So was channeling my inner Jerry Lee.
Party with Polly is asking is, do you guys choose what you want in the video, or do you leave that to someone else to set up the ideas and vibe for that sort of filming?
That's a great question. It really depends on who is doing the videos. So we worked with Time. Taz was the director and editor, and he was the one that kind of made decisions, but we also were able to chime in. So, you know, if there were certain sections where like, hey, maybe more of this or less of this, he was very open to that. So it felt collaborative in that way. A lot of times it's actually Sasha who is the mastermind, editor and director.
Yeah.
It's very
Sasha's
collaborative though. Like, oh, I'm so sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, like, Sasha oftentimes is like coming at us all with like various concepts and ideas for like different videos. But we all like think of a lot of different ones. But yeah, go on, Sasha.
Oh, I was just gonna say it's very collaborative, you know, like because we all think so differently and we all come from such various backgrounds, that one of the things I love, and I'm super looking forward to this at our January retreat as well, is that, you know, we'll say, hey, let's do this thing with black lights, and how are we going to do that? And then everybody chimes in, everybody has great ideas. It just builds and builds and builds, you know. And Carl's cinematography is so good. Like the problem that we have, the biggest problem that we have is which clips are going to go in the video, because they're so beautiful. And so yeah, it's a fun process. Sorry, I could talk about that for like 8 hours. So
no, please do. Like, in terms
of
like the Something to Believe video, like how has your process looked like?
Oh man, it's been so different for this one because we are literally doing like 9 music videos in one music video. And you know, I have no formal training in this whatsoever. You know, like this is entirely however many years ago we decided let's make a music video every month. It was like, I guess I'll learn how to edit. And so like I think our first music video, maybe our first two, were like edited in iMovie. Like I didn't even know about editing software.
Yeah, I remember when you were like using your iMovie software, and it was awesome.
Yeah, it still came out great. Like you can do so much with iMovie. And then now I've switched over to Premiere Pro and After Effects, and I recently upgraded and got myself the Maxon Red Giant suite, and that thing is a game changer. It's been really cool. But yeah, so with Something to Believe, because each shoot, each location, each day, we could have made a music video out of each of those days. So choosing how to tell the story of the music video has been complicated. And I've been so grateful for y'all's help, because I know that there have been some versions that's been like, man, the story is not clear at all. So I've been super grateful. And that goes back to the whole, like, how wonderful it is to work with a collaborative group of people who are brave enough to say, like, I don't think that works, you know, and for then the rest of us to be like, okay, that doesn't work. How are we going to move on? I'm working on the Ireland section today, just doing like some ludicrous color correction. It's been so fun. And again, going back to like with each project, we learned so much. One of the things I loved about working with Taz is watching his process. I learned so much, you know, and and I feel like with each one, you know, learning not just new editing skills, but new little tricks and new ideas of how to tell stories in a better way. And so, yeah, sorry. No, thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
I see another question. Brian is asking, Brian from Void Signal. By the way, Void Signal is a really fantastic podcast that he's had for a while now, where he brings on a lot of amazing artists from the dark underground music scene, and other scenes as well. But he asks, the live versions of a lot of Alice songs have an extra bombastic energy to them. Maybe that's just the format with having a drummer and people in the room who are banging on a thing for noise. That adds a lot. But he's wondering, are there plans to either record a live album or to try to capture that sort of thing in the studio in some way? And that's a really fun question, because we actually decided, I think like a week or two ago, that we were going to do like a live LP sometime next year as well. We actually record a lot of our shows. We have the ability to basically like record the audio. We've been like video as well. So like the idea is to record like basically like at least like 3 or 4, if not 5, 6 or 7 live songs. So that's definitely in the works.
Yeah, it's always an interesting thing. I think for me as a vocalist, recording in the studio versus performing live, because I definitely sound different and feel different, and obviously there's a lot of factors involved. The way I'm monitoring myself, because I have in-ears in both situations, but the headphones I use in the studio are different. Obviously I can't wear headphones live. I mean, I suppose I could if I was stationary, but I'm moving around, and having people there and the band playing live is definitely going to affect the energy and the performance and the tone and all sorts of things. So I think I've always loved live albums myself. Like you feel like that electricity. So I think that's actually going to be one of our projects for this upcoming tour. So we're plotting. We're in plotting mode. Yeah.
Alex is wondering what we would consider as a name for the live LP, and I was thinking maybe something like something pancake. I don't know.
Alice's live pancake EP.
Live
pancake show.
Pancake show.
That's really cute, actually. What would be like an industrial pancake? What would that be called?
Splattered pancakes.
Splattered pancake.
Alice splattered.
Yeah.
Howdy to Chester. And Brian, that our show in Seattle, we played at the Mechanismus Festival, and that was magical for us. I mean, the community there is just amazing, and you really feel that amazing live electrical loop, I think, when everybody in the room is in it together. And I really felt that energy there. So ooh, the Mad Hatter's Party, Alice Live. I love that.
So I like these ideas coming in. This is
Yes.
good.
Great ideas. Oh, and Sean had a question for Scott.
Oh yeah. Okay. So his question is, let's see, when he purchased his starter pack, just like a heads up, we have something called a starter pack, which is basically an inexpensive package of merch that we personalize for anyone that grabs one. And it basically literally gets you started, with like, going down the rabbit hole, like grabbing some merch, being part of what we call the Mad Hatter Army. Anyways, his question is, when he got his starter pack, he considered getting the VIP membership as well. And it's been so long that he doesn't remember how to do it, or if he did it. He doesn't remember. I don't remember if I did, and how can I find out? And that's an awesome question, because I can actually look to see. Let's see. Yeah, I'll definitely look into that and see. But in the meantime, I'll throw up a link for anyone that wants to consider supporting us by getting a starter pack. It's like $9 for we actually got like a personalized letter, a signed postcard of the band. You get us access to basically, I forget, it's like 7 or 8 songs. It's basically like a digital EP, which comprises our most recent album at this point. You get a sticker, you get this awesome Alice wristband. Yeah, it's an awesome deal. But anyways, I will. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead, Sasha.
Oh, I was just gonna say, and just so y'all know, and we're telling you now, like I think we have talked about it, updating it. So if you want those exact things that Scott just mentioned, get them while they're hot, because it's gonna change.
Yeah, we're thinking like a new version, because it's been the same thing for a while, and yeah, we're definitely gonna like upgrade it and update it.
We are creatures of change.
Yes.
Well, we're going to be doing a photo shoot tomorrow, actually, with a friend of ours, Daniel Sliwa, who's a really amazing photographer. So creating new art in the midst of all the things. So yeah, I think that'll probably make an appearance somehow.
Yeah. And yeah, I'm definitely going to look into that, Sean, to see if you actually did sign up for that, because there's a chance you might have, and then it's just been a while. So it's easy for me to find out.
Oh, thank you, Polly. Polly said the energy we bring is what hooked Polly. Your energy just shines through the room and fills people's souls, ears, and hearts, and your light show is so cool too. Thank you. That really means a lot. We put so much love into what we do. Within the band, like we've said this so many times, like how amazing is it that we get to do what we love with the people we love, and extend that. And I feel like it's really special to us when we get to connect with people like you, because I feel like it's just an extension of all of us. Like we all feel that together. So thank you for your supportive, very kind and loving words.
And Sean, I actually did look up your account, and you did grab a VIP bundle a year ago. So
yeah,
definitely so awesome. And if we did miss like having our virtual meet and greet, so like something that's part of our VIP program, I guess you could call it, is you get a virtual meet and greet, and we'll actually just sit with you on Zoom, the whole band, and just hang out for some time, and it's really fun. But we'll definitely hit me up, let me know if we did that or not, because just want to make sure.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
we'll I think Sasha is usually the scheduler, so
Yeah.
make sure to also check your junk mail because sometimes she'll email people and they get put into the junk folder accidentally. So
Yeah, well, our emails aren't junk, I promise.
yeah. Yeah, and we will be back in St. Louis. That show is definitely happening. So we'll be seeing you there hopefully.
Yeah, Michael said he wish he could see us more often. And yeah, that's the one thing, like we don't play in Southern California that much, to be honest. Like it's funny because we're based out of Los Angeles. You'd think we would play more in LA, but we honestly just like getting out of the region, you know. It's like it's interesting, you know, there's a lot of bands down here. There's a lot of great scenes happening, you know, for our kind of music and everything, but at the same time, like we always just like getting out of sort of like our comfort zones, you know. So it's nice to just get into different regions, you know. And so we've just been touring and touring since like 2016, 2017. You
Well, honestly,
know?
I mean, I've always felt kind of like a child of the world, right? So like home is where you are, home is where you hang your hat. And in the case it's the van. And I feel like I feel at home in so many of the communities we've been in. You know, half of us are from Texas. So we of course love our Texas shows because we get all the mom stops and the family and friends stops. But we have like so many beautiful communities that we just really consider home, like, you know, Arizona, and we've felt at home in St. Louis and Montana and all these wonderful places. Pittsburgh, our last show there, it's just like we just felt like we were just part of the community. So I mean, it makes sense to us to tour because like we're like, and it's so funny because we'll play a show and 6 months later we're like, oh man, I really miss that place. We need to go back there. So
Mhm.
that is definitely happening on this next tour. We're hitting places again. Oklahoma, like we loved playing in Oklahoma. The last show we played there was in Tulsa, and it was just incredible. Chester, you were there for that show. So, but yeah, we're really really looking forward to coming back to all of our homes.
Yes. So what was I was just thinking about something, but my brain just like all thoughts just disappeared.
I feel like it's a mushy day.
Yeah.
It is a
Oh,
mushy day.
yeah. Claudio Musa in the YouTube channel was wondering if we are going to do a making of the time video.
Oh, that's such a cool
That's an
question.
awesome question.
We have, it's so funny. We do have like BTS videos that we should put together and share out because it was such a intense process to make the video, you know, from being underwater and the prep that it took for that, and then to being in the hot warehouse. You know, I think it would be a really cool and fun video to share out. So thank you for that idea.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good one.
Yeah, for sure. Hello to XRL7. Many loves.
Yes, in the YouTube.
Yes.
Brian is asking another awesome question. He's saying there's been a lot of voices in the scene decrying the viability of touring. Meanwhile, it seems like you guys are not having that same experience. And can you speak to that a little? Do
Well,
you want to,
I'll
Tosh? Go
start.
ahead.
I'll start.
Yeah,
I'd love to hear. I'd love to hear
yeah,
everyone's thoughts on this. I think first and foremost, we have just the most amazing community. I absolutely adore all of us Mad Hatters. I feel like y'all just absolutely make it possible. Like whether you bring us food, I mean, people bring us food, y'all. It's amazing. Or house us, or your supportive and kind words, your merch orders, coming to the show, spreading the word, like all the things that our hatters do to make this come alive is absolutely the foundation, I think, of what makes it possible for Alice to be Alice. And we also keep our costs low. I bring my slow cooker and rice cooker on the road. So we have what Gordon built me, what we called a vantry. So I brought my spices from the Shire. So things like beans and rice and lentils and rice. And it's always a treat when people bring us food because that means I don't have to stay up a couple hours extra and cook. Not that I mind, but it's nice to have that sleep. But you know, it's like we try to keep our costs low. You know, we travel not in a tour bus, but in a van. And we try to be really conscious, and stay with friends and family as much as possible and just keep those costs low. It's humble touring. It's not like a huge rock star lifestyle, and we love it.
Yeah.
I grew up with a family that did a lot of cross country road trips, and we did a lot of camping, and it's kind of in my blood to travel that way. And I think that's kind of at the foundation. Ultimately, we love this music and we love what we do so much that we're like, that's the most important thing is the music and the community. So, but yeah, Scott, I would love to hear.
Yeah, no, that you definitely hit on a lot of points I would talk about a lot, when it comes to our way of touring. And there's a lot of, like, there's just different approaches to touring, like you could, spend the money to like be in a tour bus. And it's a lot, like you have to pay like 3 to 5 times the amount of money in terms of just like gas, you have to pay a bus driver. Like we definitely come from a sort of like a really sort of the punk rock DIY style of touring, where you just keep your costs really low. You sleep at friends and family's places. You make your own food, and it's definitely not like it's not a comfortable sort of situation. But we've made it so that it is very comfortable for us, to do it. It's not for everyone, but if you even talk to people who are doing the tour bus tours, you talk to people who are even doing like really luxurious touring, like there's a lot of large population of people and artists that don't like that either. So it's just, I feel like it's more of like, it's really, you just have to really, really love it, but the question also that was part of Brian's question, that there's a lot of voices in the scene decrying the viability of touring, and that's been very true, but it's also it's just, again, it just depends on like your level of expenses versus like what your expectations are versus the actual day-to-day reality of your shows, like how many people are coming out, like are is there are expectations being met and that sort of thing. So it's hard for it's just not an easy thing to do, to go in and have any expectations, but at the same time it's important to like be able to plan and that sort of thing. But I've seen many different voices saying that this has been a renaissance and that like right now live shows is like it's never been this good, and we could definitely say the same, like, but I've always felt that way, like for as long as I've been touring. It's just been incredible getting to like go to different regions and play shows, like no matter how many people or not people are there, like I'm always happy to just play. So I feel like it just depends on the person. But yeah, there's like a collective of people that are just like unhappy. I think there is a growing movement with bands right now, because some venues, when you get to a certain level of people coming out to your shows, some venues are now demanding percentage of merchandise sales, which is like I it's definitely like a big it's definitely like a big debate right now. I mean, to me it's not really a debate. I feel like it's really unfair to bands to do that, um but at the so that's part of the conversation. But anyways, I could talk about this for a long time. But just to sum everything up, it's like, keeping your costs low, making sure it's something you enjoy, making sure you're doing it with people who are just like, enjoying it too. And also like staying healthy is really important, making sure you're like eating healthy, hydrating, like not partying, like, and then you could really have this sort of like DIY sort of punk rock, lifestyle on the road. It's easy when you're like with good people and you're healthy. So yeah.
I think to add to that too is that I think that like Scott was saying, if you go into it with a certain level of expectation, like, oh, there needs to be this number of people for it to feel like a worthwhile show, like I don't know, everybody's different, right? Like everybody has their own experience of why they do their art. And I think, you know, for me, like numbers have never mattered. Like, you know, we've played shows where there's a lot of people there and it's awesome, but we've played shows like just on this last tour. Somebody was asking if we'd played Kentucky, and we did. We played Louisville at the Mag Bar, and besides the bands, I think there was maybe 5 people there. And it was awesome. It was awesome. There were Mad Hatters in the audience, and to me, I'm like, you know, if you're connecting with even one person, like that's amazing. Like, how cool is it that you get to have that experience of, you know, sharing music together, you know, that feels meaningful to you in that moment? Because live music isn't for everybody, right? Like, you know, some people don't like that experience of being in crowds or not, or being at a bar or a venue. But I personally love live music. Obviously, that's what we do, but I think it's awesome when we have like people that are, you know, kind of in the same mindset where they're like, hey, you know, this music that you've created is something that I resonate with. And I think that's really special. So,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know,
Yeah.
Sasha, your thoughts on touring?
I want to touch real quick on a couple of things because I agree with everything everyone has said. But you know, we talk about being DIY a lot, you know, and it's so important. I think that we hold it so close to our hearts that you know, we do everything ourselves. Tosh books all the tours. She books them all, and she takes epic care of us. And so we're never, I feel like as far as the viability of touring, we do keep our costs super low. We aren't driving. So, I mean, we drive ourselves, right? We don't have a driver. We have a van. We just go in White Rabbit, and everybody has their little spot. And, you know, we each have kind of our little office set up. And then, you know, the guys rotate out driving. And so we don't have a driver. We do that too. And we just try to make sure everybody gets this when there are moments in which to get sleep. And that's part of the staying healthy thing. And then Tosh makes amazing, healthy, super healthy food for us while we're on the road. And so we don't, you know, we don't get food poisoning. Nobody catches a stomach bug. And, you know, I do think that the masking up has kept us from getting colds or the flu while we're on the road. You know, when we're real careful, we stay healthy. And I think it makes a big difference. And we really like each other, you know, like we get along like peas in pods. And I mean, we have our differences. It's not like it's all, you know, rainbows or anything, but we're adults and we know how to talk to each other. And so I think that's really important. And then connecting to the audience, connecting to other people who are there to enjoy music, that is the soul food of it, you know, that's the delight, you know. So again, going back to doing something you love with people you love for a reason that feeds your soul. So I'm not sure if that, go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to say, like, this is obviously something we are very passionate about. You know, like we could just, and like, yeah, I mean, if it, you know, and Brian did mention, like, just like, you know, obviously it's like we keep our costs down so we can afford to do this. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? When we sell merch, you know, when we get any sort of guarantee, or, you know, we get any sort of like door money, you know, that just goes right into like paying for our gas, paying for our food, you know, making sure that we could get to the next place essentially. So we've been really lucky to be able to break even, but we've only been able to do that is because we have kept our costs low, you know. And then, like, you know, if we have like some really good days, then it just goes to like future tour days or future music videos, you know, future anything, you know. So yeah, we're really grateful for the support also that we get online, you know, people grabbing starter packs and getting their VIP bundles and stuff, because that actually helps a lot when we're out on the road. Some days when it's just like, oh no, there was only 5 people at our show, that sort of thing. It's like, oh, but wait, we've had all this support online from people. Like, even we'll like kick off a tour, and we'll have our like live stream right before we'll tour, and it's basically like fundraising, so like we can basically pay for gas to like get on the road. So every last cent goes right to the band. So that's the nature of DIY, right? Like, we don't have anyone where there's no one else taking like a cut of anything that goes to us. So we're able to afford this. So, and that's just because of you.
It really does make a difference. I remember this was actually on Mankind is Obsolete tour. I'm not kidding when I say that we paid for our last tank of gas in quarters. Like, we had quarters from the merch tin, and that's all we had. Like, literally, we had no money except for the change in the merch tin, and that's what got us home. So every dime absolutely makes a difference. So when people like come and even buy a sticker at the merch table, it's like, thank you so much for helping to provide for, that little ounce of gas and that little show of love and support, and it just really makes all the difference and means the world. So yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just going to say, like, it's such a great question. It's something I would love to talk to every single band that toured, because every band is going to give you a different answer, from like your huge arena bands to like, bands that are selling, theaters out, to like, any other band that's just out there doing it. Like, everyone's going to give you this different answer depending on what their experience is. We've just been really lucky, I think, because we have each other,
Mark's birthday is the 26th, and says to come to San Antonio and play. We would love to, if we could instant transport, but we're sending you a lot of love for your birthday.
Happy birthday.
Loved playing San Antonio. That was such a fun show. We played at Hondros, and that was an awesome show around the Halloweenies time.
And one of Peter Cipriani, I'm probably just like butchering the pronunciation of your last name, was wondering if we do private parties, and we actually do. So if you reach out to us directly via email, you could email us, or you could even email me, scott@ilikealice.com, and we could like figure out some details if it's something that you want to do.
This is a fun question from XRL7, who mentioned that they're in a New Order fix this weekend. So the question for the band is, favorite 80s bands that hold a place in our hearts or have influenced our musical journey?
I feel like for me, Talking Heads, they're an 80s band, right? Would you say?
I believe they did make music in the 80s, yes.
Yes, they did make music in the 80s. Like, growing up, I loved, there was like a few songs that just like stuck with me when I was like this like little boy, what was that song, like, We Didn't Start the Fire or something? Wasn't that by them?
That was Billy Joel.
Oh no. Okay, so anyway, that's another person that's very influential, because that's in my head. Sledgehammer, was that Talking Heads? I can't remember. Then there's like something about a boy in a bubble or something. Anyways, those were mine growing up.
I like it. You're like, I have very specific ones.
Yeah.
What about you, Tashi?
Depeche Mode is considered 80s, right? Depeche Mode is?
I think so, yeah.
Pretty sure, yeah.
Yeah, I love Depeche Mode. I think they write really amazing songs. I think, they're definitely, I think that's like, to me, example of amazing songwriting.
Yeah.
That kind of sticks with you.
Yeah.
Oh, and how about you, Sash?
Oh, wow. I feel like 80s music is so, what I think of as 80s music is not necessarily what I listen to that was made in the 80s. It's funny, like I think of
Right.
80s as like Depeche Mode, Cure, those like
Oh yeah.
iconic, like the stuff that we like, okay, I'm in this place, my headspace, and I need some Cure, you know. So obviously I love Depeche Mode, I love the Cure, I love Sisters of Mercy.
Mm.
That I think they're 80s. They made music in the 80s. So I think it's a great the genre in my mind of 80s music. Isn't that funny? It's just it may be something different to everybody, you know, but I just love putting it on sort of like a Spotify where you just pick one artist and then let it go crazy and just listening to this fantastic, like, I don't know, happy place music.
Yeah, that's such a good question,
It's a
man.
really fun question. I love
I
that.
I saw a question earlier that was, what is everybody's favorite like holiday sweetie treat? I don't think it said sweetie treat. I think I interpreted it as sweetie treat.
I like sweetie treats. I'm trying to think. Well, it's funny because like growing up, I didn't celebrate Christmas. It was like we were like more of like a Hanukkah house, you know. So it was more like definitely like a different thing. But there's always like some chocolate, you know.
This is chocolate. Chocolate is your favorite sweetie treat.
I think that's my favorite sweetie treat.
Chocolate is a fantastic sweetie treat.
Mhm.
Do you have a holiday sweetie treat, Tosh?
I don't, I guess, well, my family doesn't really celebrate Christmas, so I don't really know if we're discussing like these particular holidays, but we're into
All
Thanksgiving,
right,
so it's all about pie. So
bye.
I would say
Can't go
like,
wrong with pie.
no, key lime pie, pecan pie. Yep, yep. Oh, and hi to Paul. Hello, Paul. Yes, we're figuring out our DC venue. So we will keep you posted. We have the date, but we haven't yet figured out the venue, but we will definitely let you know for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Somebody is actually asking if we do just take donations. So we actually do, and I'll post the link to all of our chats. But yeah, it's something we do when we're streaming. Actually, when we have our actual performances when we're streaming. Right now, we're not performing, so you don't see it on the screen. But we usually like have this whole like thing where you could just like donate. But yeah, you could do so right there. It's tips.alice.tv. That's tips.al1ce.tv.
And thank you for that. Thank you so much for that question.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a good question.
I feel like we've touched on this a lot today, but we literally can't do what we do without y'all in supporting us and in the ways that you do. And we're we're so grateful.
Yeah.
You know, financially, energetically, emotionally, we're so grateful. And yeah, people just stopping by to say, hey, it's so nice. We love that so much. So yeah, thanks for being here with us.
Someone
Definitely.
mentioned Christmas cookies, and I was just remembering Sasha and I were in the grocery store the other day, and we saw these gingerbread houses. And neither one of us have ever made a gingerbread house. Like, I think we need to make a gingerbread house.
Not never, not once. Like, we got to do this.
Yeah, I think that this needs to happen.
Yes, let's
one
of
these rehearsal days.
One of these rehearsal days. We have
that
to find
really fun.
We have to find black and red frosting. I know how to like. I know red frosting is probably a thing. We can make black frosting. We can put dye in it. It'll be fun because you're not supposed to eat the house, right? Like once you make the house, it just.
Do you eat the house?
I don't think you eat the house.
Oh, that's a
shame.
Don't
eat the house.
Why wouldn't you eat the house? Because it's all.
Well, I don't know. I mean, maybe you do like the house. I was just trying to think. Like,
Okay,
I've never made
friends,
one.
Do y'all's a
yeah, do you eat the house?
Or is it's just for funsies?
Oh, it makes me so happy. These are the deep questions that we cover on Alice TV. Do you eat the house?
It's important.
It is.
Really important questions.
Oh, that's so cool. Drew was saying that there are some Alice songs that remind them of Psychedelic Furs and Cure. That's so cool. We just did a Psychedelic Furs compilation, or a part of a tribute album. So that's really cool that you picked up on that influence.
Alex says you can eat the house. You
Oh,
have to eat the house.
okay. So that's a part of the thing, is eating the house.
Yeah,
I kind of
Tripwire
wanted
says,
to.
I don't know
Yeah.
why you wouldn't eat the house, but he's not an expert.
Oh, I'm very excited about the prospect of not only making the gingerbread house, but eating the gingerbread house.
I kind of want to
You
make a
actually-
gingerbread house just to eat it, just to destroy it with my mouth.
We could totally Godzilla it up. Like we could make
That's
like
what
a
I'm
little
saying.
gingerbread village and then just like eat, nom, nom, nom,
We
you
could
know?
We can film it. You know, I just like I just envision
Filming
like a cat or a dog, like as Godzilla, you know, going through the gingerbread village, just like wrecking
nomming everything. Yeah.
like,
Oh,
oh man.
and thank you, Brian. So Brian was expressing gratitude for what we've done for the scene and for a lot of people who've needed it, and definitely the same to you. You've done so much for the music community. You know, Void Signal, I think, is a really special community that you've cultivated, and it's so wonderful to see somebody that's so passionate about music. So thank you for all that you do as well. And yes, lots of love to you as well, Ryan. Oh, Eric is suggesting a Tim Burton style recreation of the Tea Party house.
Mm,
Yes.
Sasha,
Yes,
Yeah.
let's do it. And I don't
Yes.
think we need to like buy a kit. We can just go to
Let's
the
just
grocery
make
store and
it.
get a boatload of like gingerbread. What are they? They're not called gingerbreads. They're called graham crackers, like those gluten-free graham crackers. I mean, we can make
Tripwires-
gingerbread too. Like I love to make gingerbread, but we can just
Oh, you know how to make gingerbread?
yeah, it's yum.
Oh, girl, you've been holding out.
Oh,
Oh.
I do a mistake.
Well, we
I
can do
apologize.
since we're all like together for the holidays, we could maybe do some gingerbread experiments, you know, for one of our after or before one of our rehearsals.
Yeah.
Okay. Question to our hatters is: do y'all make y'all's? Does anybody else make gingerbread houses?
Yeah.
Silly
Well,
thing.
it just seems so iconic and I've never done it,
I
right?
know.
So like we should do this. But yeah, I don't know. Do you I mean, we could do like we could do gingerbread sheets and just make it ourselves, or we could go buy some of those kits, but then just put it together however, like Legos, right? Like you can make whatever you want.
That's true.
So
I think
yeah.
the key is frosting.
Yes,
Right?
the key is always frosting.
Yes.
It's gonna be so fun. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure that there's if you can't buy like a black food dye in a regular grocery store, I'm sure we could mix a bunch of colors together until we got it, right?
Definitely. But yeah. So for anyone that's here on the chat, if you have any questions for the band, feel free to ask. We're here to hang out for a little bit longer, and if you got any more questions, feel free to throw them our way.
Paul was asking where to post his poem because he finished his poem.
Oh, well, I would say a really good place is actually on our Discord, because we have a whole we actually have like a whole channel just dedicated for people's stories or poetry and artwork. And you could always go on there and post it there. And all of the hatters that are on our Discord are always like really awesome. They're always happy to like check out whatever you whatever you might have. You could also post it to our Facebook group, the Mad Hatter Army Facebook group. And it's always nice to see some awesome artwork being shared, original artwork. And poetry is always something we're always like excited to read when people send that to us. So definitely.
Oh, and Sunny, I think that's awesome that you're self-taught. And he was asking about how many chords that we use. And honestly, I think we've lost track because I feel like we like to play around with like different tonal combinations, I guess. I don't really look at music in that way, I guess. Like it's sort of everybody looks at it so differently. I guess this is coming from a
Mhm.
singer and piano player perspective. For Scott, like I don't know, do you really think about the chord structure as a guitar player?
So is the question, what chords did we use,
How many full
or
chords do we use?
full chords? I'm not even sure, like full as in like open chords, or
Maybe
I
like
think
the
in terms
full,
of guitar. I
yeah.
don't know. We use all the chords, I think,
Yeah,
pretty much.
many
We
as
have,
many as
yeah,
possible.
yeah. I mean, you know, whatever the song calls for, progression wise, definitely we actually our bassist is like a professional jazz musician as well, so like he's always throwing like crazy chords at us, even especially right now because we're getting ready for actually like this like throwback swing jazz music event at the end of the year that we're doing actually. So Gordon's actually like teaching a lot of us a lot of new chords, so that's always fun. Like I always like figuring out new styles of chords and voicings to play, that sort of thing. But yeah, when it comes to like just writing Alice music, I mean, I tend to just like, I think in terms of sounds, not so much like music theory, it's just like what sounds sound good together. And that's usually what I go with, could be in any key,
Yeah, I think similarly, when it comes to the creation of the music part,
Mhm.
it's just like the sounds and the feeling. Um, I'll tootle around on my piano like as much as possible, and there's certain feelings that or that I feel on the piano that really express how I'm feeling at the moment. So I think for me, it's all about the feeling of it.
Mhm.
But yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, Sean, we do. Alice's take on swing is Alice Underground, which is our
we
fun
actually have
swing band.
a
Yeah,
band called Alice Underground. It's funny.
it was actually created around doing these New Year's Eve events. You know, we were asked to do like a 1920s event, and it turns out that we ended up writing a lot of music that was original. And so that's been kind of a fun branch of the Alice
Mhm.
project. So yeah. And Mark was asking when our next CD is. That's a great question. We haven't really set a set time. Like we're going to be, working on the writing aspect of it, especially focusing in January. And then the production takes a little while. So I think we've just kind of been looking at it with an open timeline in mind, but hoping, fingers crossed, that maybe by the end of next year we'll have
Yeah,
something solid. So
definitely.
yeah, with
Yeah,
a live album of some sort in the works as well. So
yeah. Daniel Steele's asked me if it's on Spotify, and it actually is on Spotify. So, um,
there's
I
a
can,
YouTube there's a
I'll,
YouTube
yeah. There's
channel.
also a YouTube channel
Yeah.
for Alice Underground, so you could always go check that out. Yeah, it's definitely out there. Awesome. Well, oh, Alex was asking when if there's some time in the future when we'll get some new Alice Underground songs.
Well, we actually have a possible electro swing song in the works. We'll see if we have it up and ready for this event, but if not, we are working on an electro swing song. I love electro swing, so that is being brewed as we speak.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
Yeah. And we do have some Alice Underground songs that we wrote and we perform live, but we've never recorded too. Like
Yeah.
the ones we sound real Texan.
What's really funny, me and Sash, when we get into Alice Underground, and we're singing those songs and we're singing the harmonies, we are realizing it's with certain songs. By the end of it, like you could cut our accent with a butter knife. It's so
Yeah,
big.
so big.
Yeah, it's really funny.
And it does, it just sort of grows, you know, we start
Yeah.
out with a relatively neutral sound, and then by the end of it, just full on Texan,
I'm getting there. I'm fixing to.
fixing to get there.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so fun.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much
Yeah.
for stopping by and hanging out with us.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Lots of love. Happy holidays. Hope you guys get some proper family time and hibernation time and all the things you need to feed your souls.
Yeah. Thanks y'all for being here with us.
Yes.
Thank you so much. We'll talk to you soon. And if we don't talk to you soon, happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Bye.
Bye.